that I wanted to be successful as an athlete, but the pain is me, right? But let me talk about commitment, okay? The best story I can ever tell you about commitment is the chicken and the pig. They were having a conversation. So the chicken was talking to the pig. The chicken says, I'm the most important part of breakfast. And the pig says, no, you're not. He says, I'm the most important part of breakfast. And the chicken says, well, what do you mean? He says, well, you lay eggs, right? Yeah, so you're that's what you do. He says, but when I'm served for breakfast, the pig says, I make a total commitment. In other words, he gives up his life, right? So that's commitment, right? You must have discipline. My definition of discipline is a promise you make and keep to yourself, right? You have to have discipline. Your life is either an example for someone or a warning to someone. Is that not correct, right? If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. Yes or no? Because a lot of people want to be successful. I'd be successful, but, I'm pregnant, or I'm 40, or I'm 20, or I have 5 kids, I have no kids. If only had talked to me 10 years ago when life was perfect, before I had kids. And again, if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. I tell people the number one disease I saw in my pharmacy when I was a pharmacist was excusitis, which is a swelling of the excuse gland. Yes or no? Excuses. I tell people excuses build monuments to nothing. They build bridges to nowhere. And those that use these tools of incompetence become masters of nothing, right? We need to eliminate excuses. I love what you talked about earlier. Are you a victim or a victim? See, you can either be a victim or a victor. You choose. Whatever you've been through in life, I don't care how much negativity you've been through in life, I choose to be a victor, not a victim, right? So you have to be a wildlife fanatic. Oh, this is a good one. There was a guy, they went to church and had a new pastor at his church. And they had heard that this pastor was a maniac when he came to God and the Word. I mean, this guy was fanatical. And so people were scared that this guy was just going to make everybody come to church every day, not just Sunday, every day. They were like, oh my gosh, he's weird. He's just too fanatical. So he's sitting there, he's at the podium, he's talking to the crowd, and he says, I know you guys have heard stories about me that I'm fanatical about God and the Word. He says, let me tell you something right now. I'm not fanatical. I'm not a fanatic. He says, follow the Lord, he says, and everyone's calming down. Oh, he's cool. He says, in order to be here in this church, I want you to be a wild-eyed fanatic. You gotta be fanatical to be successful in anything in life, right? People want to follow a dull, disillusioned, frustrated, daggum crybaby. Yes or no? Right? I tell people that leaders talk about where they're going to, and losers talk about what they're going through, right? Never share your problems with other people. Let me tell you why. 90% don't care, and 10% are glad you got them. So don't share your problem with other people, okay? Don't give your enemies a chance to laugh at you. Does that make sense, right? Failing forward, folks. Listen, there's a book by John Maxwell that talks about failing forward. You're going to fail in anything you do. Think about this. Has she started walking yet? Okay. How many of you guys remember? How many of you had kids before? When they first started walking, when you put them on the floor, and you, for the very first time, did they start getting going right away? Or did they fall down? So let me ask you a question. Did you give up on them? Did you say, my baby will never walk, it's over? She didn't do it, it's over. You didn't do that, did you? You pick her up, and do it again, and do it again. That's called failing. Eventually they got it, right? You gotta fail forward. The problem with most people, and anything they attempt to try, including business, as soon as they get some kind of discouragement, right? And in fact, I heard this story. The devil was having a going out of business cell. Did you ever heard this story before? A going out of business cell, and he had all his tools there that he used to hurt people. Hatred, anger, you name it, every tool. There was one tool that was very worn out and did not have a price tag. So his guy says, excuse me, what is that? He goes, oh, that tool's not for sale. He says, what do you mean? The guy says, what do you mean it's not for sale? He says, that tool is a tool that I use when nothing else works. When I come across a man of the cloth, a man or woman of faith, and these other ones don't work, that one works all the time. So that one's not for sale. I keep it in case I go back into business, right? He says, what's that tool called? That tool is called discouragement. Folks, it's okay to get frustrated in life. It's okay to go through the pain of changing, the bills, the health stuff. We all go through stuff. just want to discourage you. Don't let the devil win, okay? You got to build the team, folks. Listen, every successful businessman that I know has a network of people. You can't do it alone. None of us, no man or woman is an island. You all heard that before. There's no such thing as a self-made man. The author of Roots, Alex Haley, he was being interviewed. And there was a picture, he had a little picture on his wall of a fence and a turtle on top of the fence. And the reporter said, why do you have a picture of a turtle on top of a fence? And Alex said, because I want to remind myself every day that if you ever see a turtle on top of a fence, you have to ask some help to get it there. You can't be successful without help. Is that not correct? So build a team. Find your team. Team stands for together, everyone achieves more. Where there's a will, there's a way. Have you all heard of that before? John Maxwell says, where there's a team, he says, where there's a will, there's a way. Where there's a team, there's many different ways. It's good to have other people input on your business, right? Second one, passion. I love this one. Passion. How do you be successful in anything in life? You know, a marriage or anything, right? Folks, passion. Passion. What is passion? By the way, can people see passion? Absolutely. Yes or no? They can see it in your eyes, right? One of the best stories I've ever heard of, an old prospector back in California. He was digging for gold in California, digging for gold. He could, for like 20 years, he could not find gold. And every Friday, he would go in a little town about 10 miles away with his mule to get supplies for the next week. Well, on this particular Friday, before he went to get his supplies, he found a big vein of gold. He was so excited, this guy. Pumped up, fired up, super excited about it, right? But he said, man, I got to go to the town to get supplies. But I can't let anybody know I hit this vein of gold, or else they'll come and take all my gold. So he says, I'm just going to act normal. So he goes into town. He does everything the same. He goes to the same store, buys the same stuff, walks the same, talks the same, he's leaving town. As he's leaving town, he hears some rumbling behind him, right? He turns around, and the whole town is following him. He turns around and says, why are you guys following me? I ain't found no gold. Did I tell you I found some gold? And the people say, oh, you didn't have to say anything. We can see it in your eyes that you found gold. See, it's passion. Passion sells, right? What is passion? A burning desire. It's a fire in your belly, folks. I've been in business now 22 years. Struggled with first four. You know, I struggled a lot the first four. And I could have quit a million times, probably, right, in business. I mean, it's hard to be in business, right? But bottom line is, I had this fire in my stomach that I just knew I was going to be somebody one day. It was all going to pay off. And I had a lot of critics. You're going to have a lot of critics in your life. Y'all probably have some, right? I don't know about you guys, but in my culture, Hispanic people, they love to talk. Oh my gosh, that guy ain't going to make it. And you'll never be somebody. They don't want you to be successful. There's a story of the crab. You heard the story about the crabs? Yep. You go crab fishing, you put 2 crabs in there, you don't have to worry about the what do you call it, the top of it, because as soon as one tries to climb out, you drag it back in, right? That's the way people are, folks. So prove them wrong, right? That's my philosophy, right? By the way, folks, communication, folks, this is an amazing thing about, in America, there's a lot of folks that come from other countries, they don't even speak good English, but they're successful. Let me tell you why. Because 93% of communication is non-verbal. It's that look in your eye, the inflection of your voice, the way you carry yourself, your posture. That is 93% of it, folks, so it's important to have that passion, okay? I love this one. Sometimes it's better to have ignorance on fire than knowledge on ice. I know a lot of folks who know everything, and they're so smart. They know who's buried the unknown swimmers too, they're so smart. But they can't do anything to save their life. Okay, so you stay fired up, you'll overcome all the other obstacles, right? Next one. Compete, competition. I don't know about you guys, folks. I'm too short to play football and too slow to play football. That was my favorite sport in high school. And, but I love to compete. Love competition. I thrive in competition. But look at this, folks. Compete, but don't compare. Some of you guys have friends or neighbors or people you know that might be doing better than you right now in finance or emotions or physicality or what have you. That's okay. Compete, but don't compare. See, the problem is you compare yourself. There's always be somebody else better than you anyway. Be happy with who you are. When you look in that mirror, be proud of who you are looking back. Because you know why? Things would have been worse where you're at right now. Yes or no, right? Competition is nothing more than a measuring stick of your own personal growth. compete. I mean, a lot of people say, I don't like to compete. No, my friend, you just don't like to lose. That's the bottom line, right? Lombardi said, people will say that winning is everything, you never won anything. Because they would know. Is that not true? Right? People don't work for money, folks. People work for praise and recognition. Isn't that amazing? I believe that they say that if you do, what's that word? If you find your passion in life, you'll never work another day in your life. See, whatever you want to do in life, you have fun at it, whether it be an artist or whatever it is that you have a passion for, it's not a job to you anymore. It's a fun thing, right? Find out what your strengths are. Find out what you love. Learn to compete. If you refuse to change, you'll wind up in chains. Folks, change is extremely important in life, right? Next one. Working hard. A lot of folks don't like that word. I gotta work to win, to be different, to be successful. Yes, you do. So when you're in your car, you gotta tune into W-O-R-K. Okay? The only place success comes before work is in the dictionary. Yes or no? Alright? I learned that a long time ago. Plan your work and then work your plan. Folks, you gotta plan your work. Some of you guys have ideas, open up a business or going back to school, whatever that might be. I think a lot of us have big goals and dreams. Problem is, life gets in the way. All of a sudden you have kids, all of a sudden you have another one, all of a sudden a health challenge, something happens, a loss of a job. Don't bury whatever dreams you got. You know, it's funny, I was reading this book by Lou Holtz. It was called Winning Every Day. Awesome book. I don't know if y'all know who Lou Holtz is. He won a championship in football, Notre Dame back in '90, I believe it was. He said there was this older gentleman, talking to his wife, he says, honey, I always wanted to go to dental school and be a dentist, but when I go to dental school at my age, I'll be 55 years old when I graduate. And the wife, being a very wise person, we all know that, right? The wife says, well, dear, how old are you going to be in 5 years if you don't go back to college to be a dentist? So what does it matter, right? Oh, I need to tell you this story. This is a lot of women in the house, right? 3 guys, okay. There was this lady passing by the river, and she lost her thimble in the river. The river took it. She tried to reach it, she couldn't, and she started crying. So God started telling her, why are you crying? She was, because I lost my thimble. And I help my husband and that's why I bring money in to the family. I sold. On my thimble, we're going to suffer financially. God says, you know what? Don't even worry about it. I'll get your thimble. Reaches in the water, grabs a gold thimble. It says, ma'am, is this your thimble? By the way, hers was an old leather pattern, ugly one, right? It wasn't a gold one. She says, no, God, that's not my thimble. No problem. Reaches again. God reaches in there and grabs another one. No, it's diamond and emerald. Is this your thimble? No, God, that's not my thimble. Okay, I'm going to reach in again. He grabs the leather one. Is this your thimble? She says, yes, God, that's my thimble. He says, God says, you know what, because you're honest, I'm going to give you all 3. So he gives them all 3. She leaves. 10 years later, she's passing by with her husband by the river. He falls in the river. And she can't find him. She can't find her husband, and she's crying. And God says, why are you crying? God, I lost my husband in the river. So he reaches in and grabs Brad Pitt's. Is this your husband? And she says, yes, that's my husband. And God says, how can you lie like that to me? You know that's not your husband. And she says, well, God, I already know what's going to happen. I would have said, no. You're going to reach in there and run out George Clooney. I would have said, no. You're going to reach in there and got my husband. Then you would have been glad I didn't lie and said, I get to keep all 3. God, at my age, I can't keep all 3. Okay? So the point of the story is when a woman lies, it's for a very good reason. Okay? Anyway, habits, folks. They can either be your greatest asset or your greatest liability. See, habits, there's good habits and bad habits, right? Getting up early, going to bed late, studying hard, working diligently, whatever career you're in, right? You gotta work hard, right? Next one. Staying focused. Anybody here ever had a problem staying focused? Like every day, would you agree? I talked earlier about watching what you eat or dieting or whatever it is. It's hard, is it not? Seriously, it's hard. But I'm telling you right now, folks, to be successful in anything you want, it's not hocus pocus, it's focus. So a lot of people think